Hi everyone, this is Robyn and welcome to My Pink Stamper. I'm super excited to be with you today. I'm going to be sharing one of the stamp sets from the new Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog, and if you'd like more information on the holiday catalog, you can email me at mypinkstamper@gmail.com. This is going to be available on September 1st on mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. So if you fall in love with this card and you want to make more for yourself, you can purchase all the products that I share with you today. I'm also going to be using the cupcake cutouts. Now this goes along with the cupcake, sweet cupcake stamp set that's in the current catalog, but I want to use this really cute banner for my project. So this is the only thing I'm using from this, and I think it's a great way to see how you can just mix and match the different thinlits with other stamp sets. You don't have to own even the stamp set that it goes along with, but you can use it for other projects as well. I'm using the Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm using Whisper White Craft ink pad along with the white Stampin' Emboss powder. I'm going to do a little embossing, and I'm using one of the new Stampin' Up! Little sponge brayers that's in the new catalog. And this is a really simple project. There's a few, this is more of maybe a stepping it up step 2 card, so anyone can do it. It just takes a little more time than a quick and simple card. I'm using the Project Life, it's called the Project Life Corner Rounder, but I use it for everything. I don't use it just for Project Life. I use it for my cards, for my scrapbook pages, for just lots of things, tags. We're using the rhinestones. I love the rhinestones. I use them so much. And then the 1/8 silver ribbon. If you guys have missed this in the catalog, there's the silver and the gold. I use it so much. And you get a lot on there. A little goes a long way. And then I'm also using the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, which it won't reach over here, but I'm using the heat tool because I'm going to be embossing. And for my paper, let's see what I got here. I'm using Whisper White cardstock, the thick, for my base, and I've actually cut it this way. I've cut it 4 1/4, and it's by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2 because I wanted to open up a different way. I'm using a silver foil sheet cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I'm using Sweet Sugar Plum cardstock, which is cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I'm using more of the thick Whisper White. This is cut at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and I'm popping this up, so I wanted to use the thicker cardstock for that. And then for my banner, I'm also just using the thick Whisper White up here, and I think that's everything that we need. And I'm also using the Big Shot, of course, because I need to cut my banner out. So let's set everything aside, and I think the very first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut my banner, and then I can get my Big Shot out of the way and get everything else done. You will need a background piece of paper for this project since we're going to be using the embossing powder. Okay, so this is the Stampin' Up! Big Shot, and I'm using the new platform. I know you guys have had a lot of questions and gotten a lot of emails about the new platform. So here's the new platform, and basically instead of just opening up, you know how yours might open up like this, which is kind of annoying when you're right in front of a wall, right? Because it hits the wall. This new one, this just comes off. So if you're going to be using the embossing folders, you can just take that off. And it's also raised a little bit in the center, so if you've ever had problems cutting something out maybe that wouldn't cut out in the center, I've had that happen with the original before. This solves that problem. But I also like to use the precision base plate anytime I'm cutting anything intricate out. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on here, put my top plate on, and then just run it through. And then that's all. I'm getting a lot of messages. I must have just posted something that I forgot I posted. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and this will just pop right out. Ta-da! And I can set this aside and I could do another one with it. All right, so let me put this on my sweet cupcakes. Okay, so for this card, let me set everything aside that I'm not going to be using yet. All right, so I will go ahead and stamp my Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says, "Wishing you the happiest of days." And that fits right here on this banner. You just pop open the Sweet Sugar Plum. I need to move my lighting for some reason. It was in a different location. Okay, I need to make sure also that this isn't not upside down. Okay. Wishing you the happiest of days. And I'm just going to stamp it right here. Down and up. There you go. Wishing you the happiest of days. And I'm going to set this aside. Don't need it until the very end of my project. Okay. So now I'm going to take my 3.5 by 3.5 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to take my Project Life corner punch, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it in so it's flush on both sides. You'll just fit in there nicely. Okay. All right. Now we are going to go ahead and do a little bit of embossing. So what you need to do is we need the white Whisper White ink pad out. We don't need the brayer yet. And I'm going to be using, of course, the big snowflake. We don't need that yet. We'll set it aside. And we do need our white embossing powder. Go ahead and open the lid. And we just need one of these sheets. And I'm going to fold it in half. And I was in a swap with the advisory board alumni. I was on Stampin' Up's advisory board one year, years and years ago. And there's an alumni page, and we have a swap for every new catalog. And this was my card that I made. So we had 35 people in it this time. So quite a lot that I had to make. And I did it. I got them in just in time. She got them this morning. I'm so happy because they're due tomorrow. Okay, so you're going to ink this up in your white embossing powder, and then you're just going to stamp it on your paper. And then quickly pour your white embossing powder on the top of it, and then shake it off. If you want to do the embossing buddy first, you can do the embossing buddy so it doesn't have any static, and I didn't. Looks like I'm okay. All right, and then I'm just going to fold it like this and tap it in here. And then that's all I need that for. And I'm going to be using that paper in just a second for what I'm doing next. So let's put everything away. I like to put it away. Well, my craft room is still, it gets really messy. I'll just be honest. It gets really messy, but I like to try to put things away as I can. Okay, so I'm going to move you over here just a minute, and we're going to do a little bit of embossing. And it's nice to have something to hold on to while you're embossing. This is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. I usually run it for just a few seconds. Somebody texted me. And then I start away from me. You should never do it where it's aiming toward you or right next to it. So you'll see it kind of starting to melt the powder. So it melts the powder, and then you can see that. Make sure I got it all on there. There we go. And embossing is so awesome because you seriously can't believe you did it. It has, it's raised up. Feels like something that you'd get at a professional place or that's manufactured. But you make it yourself. Okay. I know that's a little close, but it's not burning me, so I'm good. Okay, so you let it sit for just a second so it can cool off. And now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move you back. Move you back. And then I am going to get my sponge ready, and I'm going to get my Sweet Sugar Plum. And then I'm just using this here, and it should be good. It should be good. If you touch it right after you've embossed it, it might smear it a little bit. So just let it cool off for a second. It usually just takes a second. Okay. So now I'm going to take my sponge brayer. I'm going to roll it in here, and I only want just the center part. I've done these different ways, and I just like it where it's just the center. It's kind of dark in the center, and then I'm just going to kind of pull it this way. There you go. So it's really just in the center that's popping out. Doesn't that look so cool? I'll show you close up so you guys can see it. All right, now it's time to put the entire card together. No more embossing, no more small details. Everything is just now about putting it together. Okay, so we're going to take, like I said, our piece of thick Whisper White that I've already scored. I'm using a bone folder to fold it in half. And it's going to open like this with the top. And now we're going to take, now normally I would put my white right on top of my Sweet Sugar Plum, but I'm not going to do it with this card. I'm gonna go ahead and take my snail adhesive and I'm going to put it up here, kind of at the top, like right here. And now I'm going to take my silver ribbon and I'm going to use just some regular tape, and of course mine's in a pink container, right? Everything's pretty much pink in my office. I can't help it. All right, so I'm going to tape this on the back, kind of just in the middle. And then I'm going to pull it across here, bring it around. And there we go. Yes, I did do 35. I actually made 36 of these, and it did take me all day. It took me about 6 hours to do and have everything ready to go for my swap. But that's okay because it's worth it, because I'm going to get really awesome swaps back to share ideas with you guys. Okay, I'm just going to add this on here. And now I'm going to take this here and I'm going to use, this is the part that probably took me the most time for the swap. I needed to use a lot of dimensionals because I wanted it, or you could also use the strips, the foam strips. I probably should have done that. That probably would have been so much faster. But I have one in the middle, so I actually used 9 dimensionals on each of them. Yeah, that was a lot. And then, whoops, knocked my camera for just a second. Okay. And then you just take the backs off, and these backs, they end up all over my house. They're in my bed. They're everywhere, on the stairs. We pick them up whenever we see them. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. And then we are going to add our little saying down here, and we're also going to use some dimensionals for this part. Okay, you guys, I just posted, I don't know when this is going to go up, but on mypinkstamper.com, I just posted my new special starting September 1st. You might want to check it out. It's pretty sweet. I'm doing specials the whole entire month of September. It's my 1-year anniversary for doing classes, and so I'm doing all sorts of fun specials. Okay, so I'm just going to put this at the bottom right here. And then the finishing touch, which kind of makes this card, is adding one of the rhinestones, basic jewels, the rhinestone. If I can get it off my fingernail. Put it on here in the center. Oops, there we go. Right in the middle, and then that is my simple embossed card. And here's another variation if you wanted to do it with a little more ink. You could do it with a little more ink like this, but this is actually gorgeous. I don't know if you can see how it looks embossed. It's really a pretty, elegant winter. This is just a perfect winter card. You don't have to use it for Christmas. So if you don't celebrate Christmas, this would be a really nice card to have to give to somebody wishing you the happiest of days. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching mypinkstamper.com. Bye.